I had to update my microphone to. Ryan's sick tonight, so he should be here. So I think this is everyone for tonight.
Don't look like much.
Tom, we have 6 o'clock.
Yeah, Mike, this thing.
Sorry.
Pressure.
No pressure.
All right. It's April 20th. At 6 o'clock, our regular Riverside City Council meeting is being started. So if everyone would stand, we'll pledge allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Stephanie, if you take roll call, please.
Kevin Key.
Here.
Tom Sexton.
Here.
Lois Schneider. Here. Chris Brinson.
Here.
Thank you, and we have a quorum with the missing people. First up, we have approve the agenda, which I knew that without looking for it.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. I second it.
Motion by Lois, seconded by Chris to approve the agenda. Any discussion on it? If not, I'll ask for a vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. And motion carried 4-1 or 4-0. Next up is our consent agenda with minutes and expenditures.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I will second that. Motion by Kevin and seconded by myself to approve the consent agenda minutes and expenditures. Any further discussion on any of that? If not, I'll take a vote. All those in favor for approving that, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. That motion also passed 4-0. Next up, we got a public forum. If anyone would like to speak, now is your opportunity.
I'm staying up just for a minute. Maybe some of you know, but I want to officially inform everybody that I will be running for county supervisor for District 3 coming up on June 2nd primary. And for the record, the District 3 involves Ainsworth, Crawfordsville, and Riverside. And so in the coming weeks, I will be kind of being connected to the board meetings and are in our local area. Any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Any donations, I'd be happy to take.
Good luck.
All right, no one else? All right, item 6, we got the 2027 budget. We have a public hearing scheduled here for the adoption of that fiscal year budget. So I will entertain a motion to go into open public hearing on that.
I'll make a motion to go into public hearing for the budget, 2027 budget.
Second.
A motion by Lois, seconded by Kevin to open public hearing on the budget. We have a roll call that.
Yeah.
All right.
for hearings.
Chris?
Aye.
Lois?
Aye.
Myself, aye, and Kevin?
Aye.
All right. That motion passed 4-0, and it is
6:04.
6:04. Public hearing is now open.
We'll say, since we've had this published, we've had our detailed budget, on our website, available for public inspection for at least the last 10 days, a bit longer than that, but that today is the requirement. We have not received any comments, questions, they're stopping here at City Hall, calling, email, anything like that, so unless there's someone here tonight, we have not received anything.
Never enough money.
Any comments from the council? If not, I'll entertain a motion to close public hearing.
Motion to close public hearing.
Second.
Motion from Chris, seconded by Kevin to close the public hearing. I'll take a roll call vote on that too. Lois?
Here.
Chris?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Kevin?
Aye.
That motion passed 4-0, and public hearing is 6:05. It's closed at 6:05. And that brings us up to a resolution for that fiscal year 2027 budget for approval.
So we've now met all of our publication requirements, public hearing requirements. All that would be left is a resolution to formally adopt the fiscal year 2027 budget. And then from there, we sign off, getting it adopted on the Iowa Department of Management's portal, and then certifying at the county. So we'll be wrapped up this week.
What's the resolution number?
17. I think.
17, yeah, 2026, 17.
I make a motion to pass resolution 2026-17, adoption of the FY 2027 budget.
I'll second.
Yeah, motion by Kevin, seconded by Lois to approve the resolution adopting the fiscal year 2027 budget. Any further discussion on that? If not, I will take a roll call. Kevin?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Lois?
Aye.
And Chris?
Aye.
That resolution is approved with a 4-0 vote. Next up is the subdivision request for Hickory Haven subdivision. And there's a resolution in that too. And as previously discussed, when it came before us, I will abstain from any discussion or voting on that.
Perfect. I will say we do have Lacey Stutzman with MMS here, who is, I guess, help prepare the application and the subdivision plat. So if there are any technical questions over the subdivision request, I ask that you direct them to Lacey. I do want to first give some high-level updates. So when you guys would have last seen this, we had it was one parcel, so it had two different zoning classifications. So then we had to go through rezoning to be able to actually approve the subdivision. But since rezoning did not get recommended for approval, didn't go through, we ended up, the applicant amended the subdivision request to be two different parcels rather than one, so that they would fit within the existing zoning classifications. Does that make sense? Okay. We have gone through a review of the updated subdivision plat. It meets all the requirements as established in ordinance. We even have, you'll see the actual subdivision request application in there that states all of the required elements for the preliminary final plats, as well as the final documents that will be required to finalize this. Planning and zoning met last week and recommended the plat for approval. Several sentiments can be found from our building inspector, city attorney, and city engineer on this. Let's see. Okay, so at this point, Lacey, do you have any, comments or things that you want to council know about?
Yeah, I don't have much to add. Cole did a great job. So, right, the original request was for one single parcel. And then we came back and did a rezoning request to, so we didn't have a dual zoning on that parcel. And then it came to light that we want to keep the original zoning, which is C1 on lot 1 and C2 on lot 2 of Hickory Haven subdivision. Which is why we are seeing it again. I will note, if you're looking at the plat, there's an access easement that goes through these parcels, and that is to provide access to a different parcel that's not contained within this plat and is for reference only.
Yep, so as part of our subdivision ordinance, as part of the required elements to be put on a plat, just requires that any proposed or existing easements be displayed on the plat. It's not necessarily for or against the application itself. It's just required information that we have to have. So because it is a proposed easement, that's why you'll see it on there. We actually did identify that there is another easement providing access to that property that's already exists, but neither here nor there, so not relevant to this request. Other questions would be potentially that smaller lot 1. It's C1, there are no lot dimension requirements for C1. So everything here is conforming, there's no concerns with that. So, yeah.
Any questions from the council on any of it? Lacey, you will be, MMS will be staking out the corner boundaries on that then, or?
Yeah, so after approval, it'll get signed and it'll get recorded, and then we'll send the monumentation per Iowa code.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So with that, if there are no more questions, a resolution would be up for consideration.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2026-18, approving Hickory Haven subdivision as presented.
I'll second.
A motion made by Lois, seconded by Chris, to approve the resolution on the subdivision request of Hickory Haven. I'll take a roll call on that vote. Lois?
Yes.
Chris?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
And myself, I will abstain from voting. So it will pass on
Yep,
3 votes.
301, yep, we're good. Lacey, thank you. You don't have to stick around if you don't want to, but just want to say thanks.
Item 8, sanitary sewer rehabilitation project. Cole, I'll let you
Yes.
lead into that.
We got bids back last week, albeit substantially higher than originally anticipated. I've been back and forth conversation with Dave over the weekend and today, just to try to get to the root of kind of what went on, also receiving fewer bids than we were originally anticipating. I think this is a mix of, there's a mix of a few different things contribute to this. It seems like we bid this out maybe a little too late, where a lot of contractors already have their schedules full. Also, some of the things like the point repairs, there's not very many of them, so it was difficult to get a subcontractor to bid on that scope of the work. The other piece being, I guess what I found out today is because of the resin involved in some of the materials, this project that's obviously being impacted by some of the conflict going on in Iran. So with that being said, I did actually include a recommendation letter from the district came in here, kind of outlining the situation. Dave thought that based upon the bids we received and kind of projections for additional cost increases, that we would award a contract just for the base bid, which would be In this case, he was comfortable with Visu Sewer for their base amount, not the alternate bid. The alternate bid was what would be included in the residence, scope of work. In this case, we were anticipating somewhere around $2,500 per Tiger Glide, and the bids we got back, the low end was $6,750, and the other one was $15,000. So there's no way we can reasonably, recommend the approval of that ultimate bid. However, I think $407,816 from Visu Sewer for the base bid would cover all of the work that is in our sewer mains, so it will be city responsibility. So we do have $400,000 in the fiscal year 2027 budget for this. So this end up is already a little over budget, but I do think these repairs need to be done, and also the outlook on this is that costs are likely going to be continuing to increase, especially in the short term. So I will do my best to answer questions on this with the information I have, but I guess I'll open up the city council questions on the sewer rehab bids.
So are you saying that we should go ahead with the 407,000 at this time?
Dave's recommendation was go with Visu Sewer at the base bid, not the alternate, because both the bids we got back for alternates for the residents was frankly ridiculous. But the base bid would cover the city responsibility section of it, and that would essentially address all of the outstanding main issues we have. That being said, I've talked to David about being able to get information to the property owners so that they could still find a contractor for choosing, so that they would have, here's what the issue is, here's the scope of work that we need to address this. So they can basically give that letter to any contractor who does that type of work and really provide them a quote for that. So we're not, had them come in here, told them about the project work that you've done, we don't leave them high and dry, but we also can, in good faith, give them a cost that is 3 times of what we initially thought. So, yeah.
So you want a motion for that?
There would be a resolution to award the contract is what it would be, but.
Okay.
Kevin, I would keep all time. Do you have any comments or thoughts on this?
I'm gonna get our excavator back running. Well, it's running now, and go back to business.
There you go.
That was ridiculous,
Yeah,
make some serious money on that at half the price they had.
I don't know what they're saying is the material prices, they're anticipating going up.
If we approve it, when will they start?
So according to the original schedule, we have like finalization of docs in the next month or so. They get materials. It'll be starting, I think, the next month or 2 is what the original schedule showed.
So they,
Although we did push that back a couple weeks to extend the bid deadline, we shouldn't really have any issues there.
so it'll be done this fall sometime?
End of October is what the original substantial completion date was. So yeah, there's no, that was also based off of the full scope of the property owner's responsibility. I don't really know how that's going to truly impact the timeline, but I would anticipate that it will either not impact it at all or decrease our timeline, so.
When are they gonna be done with this going on right now? Will there be an overlap with this?
So the Lion,
And this at the same time then?
I don't know how long they're expecting that to.
But not yet, won't be anytime soon.
Jed,
One of the crews, the crew that's going down Ella right now towards the park.
Yeah.
He said a few weeks for that one. I haven't talked to the ones that are on the north side of town. But I would assume, which is never great, but they shouldn't be too much past that. There's another little bit down on Hickory, right when it comes into town, they're going south a little bit. But other than that, I haven't had any major one-call locates for a couple weeks now.
I'd have to ask Ryan to get a for sure answer on that, but
No, I just didn't know if it's gonna be like, it's gonna be the, going through town, it's gonna be a. I must check this. That would be toward too.
I just wonder in the future, since I think we've televised everything in town now. We pretty much know where all the tree roots are, and they're always gonna be there. If we have to do all the scope of work we've been doing, we got this section, this block, it always has tree roots in it, just every 2, 3, 4 years. Go to root
so with our CIT sewer who does our annual jetting, they jet and televise every single fall. So currently we've been doing it on about like a third of the town, because we've gotten kind of caught up on schedule there. We're gonna look at switching to every quarter of town each year, but the same idea would be that they jet it, televise it, give us a maintenance report, so if any inspections of anything needs to be addressed, whether it be this type of work, or if it's root cuttings, that would all be found out during those inspection reports, and we'd be able to, at that point, either bid it out or work directly with CIT to, or another, I guess, contractor to address that sort of stuff, but
CIT put it in for this?
they were in the subcontractor and did not, the general did not submit. So, again, I think it goes back to availability at this point, and so.
We have done contractor work with Vision Sewer before, haven't we?
Prior to me here, but yes, I believe they actually used to be, Kevin, you might, or Lois, you know, you guys might know too, but I believe they did our jetting and visualizing the sewer prior to CIT. And I think that contract started in 2022. So I would say 2021 or before, I believe Vision Sewer would have been the company doing that. Does that sound familiar?
It does, I mean,
It sound familiar? Dave had no problem recommending, he was comfortable with it as a reputable.
We have a resolution here if anyone to make that.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2026-19 to approve Lisa Sewer LLC for the sewer rehabilitation project.
Just the base bid.
Base bid for $407,000.
I'll second.
A resolution been made by Chris, seconded by Lois, to approve the contract bid for the base price of $407,816 from Visual Sewer. Any further discussion on that? If not, I will take a roll call vote on that. Kevin?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Lois?
Aye.
And Chris?
Aye.
That resolution passed 4 ayes.
We'll get that signed back to Dave, and from there it'll be, I think we gotta finish up some project docs and then have a pre-construction meeting and probably get to start work here before long, so. All right.
Brings us to item number 9, where the guy has perfect timing, Washington County Sheriff Report.
Yes, that was.
Stake it out.
All right, for March of 2026, Riverside had a total of 104 calls for service. 74 of those being traffic stops. And in comparison to March 2025, Riverside had 120 calls for service with 79 of those being traffic stops. March 2026, 12 of those calls came from the casino, and March 2025, 9 of those calls came from the casino.
So the only other thing, I guess, Sheriff's Department related, Sheriff Schneider is gonna be here in June, the first meeting in June, to present the fiscal year 2027 contract for law enforcement. So we've already talked about that as part of the budget, what that amount is. It's really more of a formal approval to get that done, but we've already included that figure in the budget, so.
Any questions on the report?
Does the sheriff's department still have that radar on a trailer?
And there was a note I was gonna say, Chad and I are tomorrow gonna go over it, it's sitting in our Sally port, and we're gonna start deploying it to the towns, so that you will start seeing it out.
It was broken for quite a while.
Yeah.
They got something, somehow they got broken and water got in and short circuited them.
So I think
It should be fixed.
It doesn't hurt to move that around once in a while.
What's that?
It doesn't hurt to move that around once in a while.
Oh, it'll be getting void.
I think last year, we had it on Ella for a while, we had it on Korean, we put it out on Ash for a while. I think it was even on Clep for Galileo, but it was kind of got moved around a little bit. You guys do have any areas where you have, or the community as a whole hears anything about, hey, an area to prioritize, let us know so that we can coordinate that, but there's only one of them that travels around the county, so it's not like it's in Riverside all the time, but when we do, it's nice to have some advice on that.
And on top of that, a part of us applying for Governor Traffic Safety Bureau grant money, we can also buy, not only a speed trailer, but speed signs, which are even more mobile. And once we get those, they haven't came in yet, they've been ordered. I'll get in touch with each city administrator and see what poles we can put them on. And they're basically a speed trailer, they light up and show your speed, flashlights and that sort of thing, so
Are those temporary, or are they like?
yeah, they're temporary,
Okay.
yeah.
So we currently have them on both ends of town, 22 coming in.
Right.
We have one on Schnellen Street, but yeah, there's definitely some other places where we could try them out, so.
And we have a deputy that's graduating the academy this coming Friday. He will start his field training Monday. Just so you guys are aware, we're in the hiring process. We have 2 slots to fill, so we're currently in the hiring process.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
You bet.
We're up to the people service report.
Good evening.
Hello?
Oh, hello, Jen with People Service. Through the water, operation maintenance, there hasn't been too much. RO1 is still down. We're waiting on that VFD that was ordered to come in to get that, replaced and back up and running. We have been flushing it just to keep some flow through there, just to keep kind of the crud out.
Those VFDs are something that Steve did say beginning of last year that those are going to be replaced before long, but it was one of those, Steve at that point thought that based upon we have 3 trains and the lead time on them hasn't historically been terrible to get those, it wasn't too bad of an issue if one went out, we'd still be fine. We did another one of them, which is what has happened. We have one that went out and
Yeah, and our recommendation, we were recommended to run it until it completely fails, to not just spend money on something that we didn't have to have. All water work orders were completed, and then, we just have one, random sample, nitrate sample, and, Brandon's gonna take that to Newton this week. UV system, we were still waiting to do the final walkthrough. I'm pretty sure last meeting, there was that, sensor for bank 4 that went out, and that was because the quartz bulb around it had broke. Jordan, I don't remember what company he's with, but we've been back and forth, and then he was talking to the Glasgow guys and Emily. He came today, we put a new bulb in with the old sensor, just to maybe see if it does still work. I'll know right away in the morning when we decant if that was working or not. We have an email thread going with Emily with B&K. Since the quartz bulb broke, they're trying to figure out if it was something that us operators would have done, or it broke kind of whatever, so they're fighting on a warranty issue, I guess. He did send a little mini quote, like a new quartz, or a new sensor was gonna be just shy of $900. So if we didn't have to spend $900, we're gonna hopefully get that figured out. They do realize that I was getting that same alarm most of summer and fall last year after they put it in. So now we're just trying to figure out if it was they installed it and it just wasn't tight enough. We did see today, so that bulb is so long and there's a little slot on the bottom of the unit that bulb fits in. And if it doesn't, it just kind of sways. So he had to put it in farther to get it in. Well, it's not so tight up top. What I was kind of figuring is that they had the clearance up top that they were supposed to, and it wasn't all the way in that slot at the bottom. And then when we got all that flow, when we decanted, it was putting all the stress on the nut on top and broke. Because it happened pretty soon, but I don't know. That's my input on it. We're gonna find out, like I said, I'll find out more tomorrow.
Once we have our final walkthrough, and that's been recommended for final acceptance, we'll be able to bring it back to city council for final acceptance and close out the project. But if you remember, the big delay on this was, and we had to wait for the end of the season to send the cabinet back. Off season, they refabricated that, reinstalled it, and now we've been waiting for it to basically go online to test it to make sure everything works. And then once we have our walkthrough, we'll be able to, everything's good, we'll be able to accept it and move forward.
And we did start our quarterly E. coli samples. Let's see, we've sent in 3. We'll do the last 2 this week, or I sent one in today. The first one came back less than non-detectable. So the UVs are working. We're just getting that alarm for that sensor. So at least it's working. We're disinfecting for the DNR and everything's good on that end. We just don't like looking at the alarms. The blower unit 1 at the waste plant tripped out on us. The blower itself is brand new, but the wiring to it, this was an issue that we had. I don't know if it was that blower specifically, but it would trip out. We had the electrician come in and the great big huge 3-phase wires that come in there. Something was touching each other and it was tripping out. Yeah, so the other, at least one had been fixed. I know it's happened twice. Well, now it's happened again. So I don't know if we need to look into running all new wire from those blowers into the power room, but that just happened. We're waiting on an electrician to come in and take a look at that. The previous time it happened, they just retaped it and reconnected the wires and everything was fine. So hopefully that's the same then. And then just just a couple quarterly effluent samples that we got sent in last week have been completed. I think that was about it. I got a call late this afternoon on 4th Street up by Boise. That little dip in the road where there's a creek runs under it. He said there was a manhole that there was something oozing out of. So I stopped and looked at it. What I saw was clear down by the creek was a water valve box that wasn't on my map in Diamond Maps that it looked like, and he said it was over the weekend, that looked like there had been something come out. So I'm gonna do some more looking around tomorrow, see what exactly that was. Per my maps and where all the other valves and the hydrants are, I'm not supposed to have a water main on that side yet. It doesn't jump the road till probably half a block east. So I'm gonna take a look, and it could be something old that was just there, and we've had all that rain, so I'm assuming there's a bunch of groundwater flowing around. find it its way somewhere.
Hopefully.
Don't touch the ooze.
Yeah, he said oozing out. It didn't look like it was like a ooze, especially out of a water well box. So, yeah, I'll look into that too and see what's going on. Any questions?
I know I asked you about, if you got a meeting time, was it Chris, at the sewer plant, just to take a little short tour of it? When you're not in a hectic stage?
We usually get most of the just main stuff done in the morning. I'll get if we gotta get waste samples out, it'll be between 11 and noon, 10 to noon. That's just what works with, Lisa getting the package out, but I mean, mid-morning, you guys can watch what we do with the samples. If it's a Tuesday or Wednesday, if you wanna watch E. coli, we could schedule that up. We can't be consecutive days, so the next one I'll do is Wednesday to get this quarter's done. But yeah, we're